Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maya ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone. So I would like to welcome all of you to our daily Bhagavad Gita class. Today we will be reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 16 verse number 22. Eter vimukta kaunteya tamodvaraistribhirnaraha acharyatatmana shreyas tato yata param gatim. So I'll read couple of more times, then anybody would like to repeat after me or they would like to say, they can. Eter vimukta kaunteya tamodvaraistirbhirnaraha acharyatatmana shreyas tato yati param gatim. Eter vimukta kaunteya tamodvaraistirbhirnaraha acharyatatmana shreyas tato yata param gatim. Anybody would like to repeat?
Etairvimukta kaunteya tamodvaraistribhirnaraha acharati atmana shreyas tato yati param gatim.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else would like to read?
Etar vimukta kaunteya tamodvaraistribhirnaraha acaratyatmana shreyas tato yati param gatim.
Okay. Etai, from these, vimukta, being liberated, kaunteya, O son of Kunti, tamadva.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Please welcome. So we are reading Bhagavad Gita chapter 16, verse number 22. Etai, from these vimukta, being liberated, kaunteya, O son of Kunti, tamadvarai, from the gates of ignorance, tribhi, three kinds, naraha, a person, acharati, performs atmana, for the self, shreya, benediction, tatha, thereafter, yati, he, param, to the supreme gatim, destination. Translation: the man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. So, as yesterday in verse number 21, Trividham narkasyadam dwaram nashanam atmana kamat krodhas tatha lobha tasmadetat tayantajet. So these, in verse number 21, there were three gates to hell. They were lust, greed, and anger. So these things were discussed yesterday. So we will be continuing. One who surpassed these three gates to the hell, then that person can attain supreme destination. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Anyone would like to repeat the purport, or shall I go ahead?
I can do it, Prabhu.
Yeah, please go ahead.
One should be very careful of these three enemies to human life: lust, anger, and greed. The more a person is freed from lust, anger, and greed, the more his existence becomes pure. Then he can follow the rules and regulations enjoined in the Vedic literature. By following the regulative principles of human life, one gradually raises himself to the platform of spiritual realization. If one is so fortunate by such practice to rise to the platform of Krishna consciousness, then success is guaranteed for him. In the Vedic literature, the ways of action and reaction are prescribed to enable one to come to the stage of purification. The whole method is based on giving up lust, greed, and anger. By cultivating knowledge of this process, one can be elevated to the highest position of self-realization. This self-realization is perfected in devotional service. In that devotional service, the liberation of the conditioned soul is guaranteed. Therefore, according to the Vedic system, there are instituted the four orders of life and the four statuses of life, called the caste system and the spiritual order system. There are different rules and regulations for different castes or divisions of society, and if a person is able to follow them, he will be automatically raised to the highest platform of spiritual realization. Then he can have liberation without a doubt.
Thank you very much. So, in the verse we have read that there are three gates to hell: lust, greed, and anger. And then in the purport, Prabhupada also mentioned about Varnashrama system. But he also emphasized more on the lust, on the three gates to hell, that is lust, greed, and anger. Why is this so prominent in this age? So in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.10, qualities of Kali Yuga. Prayena alpa ayushya sabhya kalavasmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadrita. This is what is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th verse of chapter 1, first canto. So, prayena, almost always, alpa, meager, ayushya, duration of life, sabhya, member of the learned society, kalau, in this age of Kali, asmin, herein, yuge, age, jana, the public, manda, lazy, sumandamata, misguided, mandabhagya, unlucky, he, and above all, Upadrita, disturbed. O learned one, in this iron age of Kali men almost always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. These are what the qualities of Kali Yuga is mentioned as per Srimad Bhagavatam. So we can see these these uh, these blocks, these stumbling blocks for in your spiritual life will always be there. The reason why is because that is a quality of Kali Yuga. In this age, these things are going to be prominent, and we will always find it difficult to do good thing. So it is said that mode of goodness, mode of goodness in this age of Kali is compared to the Dushyasana stripping Draupadi's sari. The same way, Kali Yuga, in Kali Yuga, as Dushyasan is stripping away our any person's good qualities. So you will find Dushyasana is a very strong person, and we as a Draupadi, we are very weak in comparison to Dushyasana, who is having thousands of elephant power. So we will always be weak. The only way we can be saved is if we somehow get connected to Krishna. Same way as Draupadi got raised her hand and chanted and remembered and has full faith in Krishna that he's going to save. Similarly, unless and until one person develops that level of faith, we won't be spared. And anger, this is one one of the character is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 2.62. ध्यायतो विषयां पुंसा संगस्तेषु प्रजायते संघात संजायते कामत क्रोध भिजायते. ध्यायते, when contemplating vishayan, sense objects, pumsa, of person, sangha, attachment, teshu, in the sense objects, upajyate, develops, sangat, from attachment, sanjayate, develops, kama, desire, kamat, from desire, krodha, from anger, abhijayate, becomes manifest. When contemplating the objects of senses, a person develops attachment to them, attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. And what happens? What are the effects of anger is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 2.63. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramsat buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. Krodhat, from anger, bhavat, bhavati, takes place. Sammoha, perfect illusion. Sammohat, from illusion. Smriti, of memory. Vibhrama, bewilderment. Smriti, bhramsat, after bewilderment of memory, what happens? Buddhi nasha, loss of intelligence. Buddhi nashat, and from loss of intelligence, pranashyati, that is one falls down. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down into the material pool. So, one one of the three gates to hell. There are three stories associated with these, with these stumbling blocks. One is lust. In this material world, no matter how much one can think that he is purified, or he is leading his life in a grahastha way, but actually unless one person is properly connected with Krishna consciousness, everything will be lust. So first, how can lust be purified? So here one beautiful story comes in Krishna book, chapter, page number 563. One second. There is a story of Kubja which comes. So that story is on page number 353. 353 is the page number. You can read that story is there in Krishna book. And Krishna pleases his devotee. That is the title of that story. So in this, what Kubja does, Kubja was a very ugly looking woman, and she had a hunchback, and but she had one quality, though she used to make good perfumes. So that when Krishna was entering in Gokula, at that time she presented those perfumes which she was preparing it for Kamsa. So just that offering of small offering by Kubja to Krishna, Lord Krishna remembered, and Krishna promised that one day he is going to visit Kubja. So as Kubja was a hunchbacked, ugly looking woman, but Krishna's touch, as she offered, and Krishna's touch made her a beautiful looking woman. And then as she wanted to serve Krishna in her own way, so she had these lusty desires, but Krishna went to her home, and then as soon as Krishna's he hugged Krishna hugged Kubja, all her lusty desire got transformed. Similarly, the only way lust can be purified is in connection with Krishna. So as soon as it comes in connection with Krishna, it get purified. So there are few rasas, that is Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. So these are the five rasas in which Krishna enjoys. Krishna or anyone who wants to enjoy in spiritual world, they can have any of these relationship. So Madhurya ras is considered as topmost rasa, as Dasyaras has Shantaras. Similarly, um, Sakhyaras has Dasya and Shantaras, and Vatsalyaras has both Sakhya, Dasya, and Shantaras. Similarly, Madhurya Ras has all those rasas, but we cannot imitate. We cannot imitate that in the material planet, because the material world is not designed to enjoy these sort of rasas. So if anyone would try to enjoy, he would only get frustration. So a person may think that he is in love, but that is not actual love. In material world, most 99% of the time, you will notice that that is all fake love, and it is situational. So in one situation, a person may say that he is uh, he is calling himself or herself in love, but as soon as situation changes, the meaning of that also changes. That is nothing but lust. But in case of Kubja, that was completely different. So as soon as Kubja offered her desire to Krishna, and Krishna purified her. Similarly, there is another story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, in beginning he had this greed in his heart, that he wants to become much more richer than his father. He want a bigger kingdom than his father. So what he did, he went to the forest under the guidance of great sage Narad Muni. So he went, and then he performed tapasya. So as soon as Lord Vishnu gave him darshan, so he said, uh, his greed was purified. And what he said is, um, I was looking for a piece of glass, I have got a diamond. So he was comparing Lord Vishnu's darshan as a diamond. So so that's what. Then again, here also we notice that Dhruva Maharaj's greed got purified as soon as it came in contact with Lord Vishnu. So there is similar story. Anger, we just saw a couple of verses how anger is not good for a person. But in story of Ramayana, there comes a situation where Lord Hanumanji goes to Lanka in search of Sita Devi. So when he goes in search of Sita Devi, he finds that Sita Devi is being kidnapped, and she is in Ashok Vatika at so and so place, and she is being tortured by so many demons every day, and Ravana is troubling Sita Devi. So he saw all these things, and he got very angry, and in that fit of anger he burned the whole Lanka. But here, the anger which Hanumanji has, that is not stumbling block for his spiritual life, for Hanumanji's spiritual life. It is because that anger was for Krishna, and Krishna, in touch of Krishna, and Krishna again purified that anger. So that is how we can see that any of these three stumbling blocks also can be purified. We will see in further verses how what Srimad Bhagavatam mentions about these three things, and how a person should approach. One more thing, whenever a person is reading any scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the the attitude or the mood is very important. A person who is reading and who is hearing also. A person should not read to just show that he wants to become a scholar, or he can quote many shlokas. But the 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 mood of a speaker, of a person, should be in a very gratitude to serve devotee, and to serve, to have a gratitude in his heart, and he want to just serve devotees and his guru. So in with that motive, if a person reads the scriptures, the nectar will be revealed. As Mohini Murti gave all the nectar to the demigods, and she gave, and demons didn't receive anything because their heart was not pure. So similarly, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, or Bhagavad Gita, or any scriptures, especially Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, so those scriptures will reveal only if a person approach with a good heart, a good intention. If he goes with the intention of becoming scholarly, or something ill motive to become famous or something like that, Bhagavatam will not reveal its full nectar. So like Mohini Murti nectar gave only to selected person. Similarly, the nectar of Bhagavatam will only get to the person who is in the right mood. So now, how to perform bhakti? Bhakti, or for example, reading of Bhagavatam or reading of scriptures, there should be no distraction. There should be one pointed attention. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.14 mentioned. Tasmadeke namanasa Bhagavan Satvatam Pati Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Deha Pujascha Nityada. Tasma, therefore, ekena, by one, manasa, attention of the mind, Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead, Satvatam, of the devotees, Patita, protector, Shrotavya, is to be heard, Kirtitavya, to be glorified, Cha, and Deha, to be remembered, Dehaye, to be remembered, Puja, to be worshipped, Cha, and Nityada, constantly. Therefore, with one pointed attention, we should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. So we should serve, uh, we should serve with no distraction. So if we want to achieve no distraction means, let's say if we are reading Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, one day we are reading 100 pages, and another day we are reading just 10 pages, or the next day we don't read anything. Similarly, with our chanting, some like whoever is in initial stage of bhakti, so they should keep a constant chanting numbers. So this is nothing but a frequency in which we are approaching towards Krishna. So if we approach, if our frequency is not correct, so we won't get that the reciprocation that we receive, that we need. So if our frequency is more, if we want to associate with Krishna more, then Krishna will reveal himself to us. So that is what we should perform bhakti with one pointed attention. That is what this verse also says. And then the intelligent person cut karmic knot by remembering Lord. This is one solution that Bhagavatam has given. Yad anudhyasyan Yad anudhyasini yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chindanti ko vidastasya ko na kuryat katharatim. Yad anudhyasina yukta. Anudhyasina means remember. Asina means sword. Yukta, being equipped. Karma, reactionary work. Granthi, knot. Nibandhanam, inner net. Chindanti, cut. Kovida, intelligent. Tasya, his. Kaha, wo. Na, not. Kuriyat, shall do. Katha, message. Ratim, attention. With with sword in hand, an intelligent person cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will pay attention to his message? So let's see. Now, Krishna cleanses the heart of the hearer. Now this is again one verse wherein just by associating with Krishna, by hearing the name of Krishna, automatically our heart get purified. So there is one more story in Ramayana where Lord Ram was sitting with all his alankars on a stage on his throne, and Lava and Kush was reciting his own autobiography. Ramayana was being recited by Lava Kusha. All the all the devotees in that assembly were enjoying. Sometimes they were crying, sometimes they were laughing, they were enjoying. So all those emotions Lord Ram could see, but Lord Ram was not able to relish. As soon as Lord Ram left his throne and he sat in the association of devotees like Love and Kush, and as soon as he started hearing, with the same emotions he was getting. So शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति श्रुहुत्सतम्. Shranvatam, those who develop the urge to hear the message of Swakatha, his own words, Krishna, the personality of Godhead, Punya, virtues, Shravana, hearing, Kirtana, chanting. Kirtana is also called as hearing and speaking. Hridayanti stha, within one's heart, he certainly. Abhadrani, desire to enjoy matter. Vidhunoti, cleanses. Suhurt, benefactor. Satam, of the truthful. Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma, supersoul in everyone's heart and benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his message, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So here we see that Krishna, Paramatma, who is super soul, who is sitting in everyone's heart, will cleanse the desire for material enjoyment. Similarly, we also see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said in his Sikshastakam, Cheto Darpana Marjanam भवमहादावाग्नि निर्वापनम श्रेया कैरव चंद्रिका वितरणम विद्यावधु जीवनम. So it goes on the whole Sikshastakam prayers if you read. So first thing, Cheto Darpana Marjana is cleansing of heart. That happened, the Darpan is the mirror. The mirror has accumulated lot of dust. So only way to get it clean is by chanting the holy names. So we can see how a person should chant with one pointed attention, with no distraction, and automatically the karmic knots will get cleared, will get cut. And similarly, the Krishna in who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart will cleanse all the desires for material enjoyment. Then anartha nivritti happens. This is again one nice verse. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtike. Nashta, destroyed. Prayeshu, almost to nil. Abhadreshu, all that is inauspicious. Nityam, regularly. Bhagavata, Srimad Bhagavatam, or the pure devotee. Sevaya, by serving. Bhagavati, unto the personality of Godhead. Uttama, transcendental. Shloke, prayers. Bhakti, loving service. Bhavati, comes into being. Naishtiki, irrevocable. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart is almost completely destroyed, and the loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established as an irrevocable fact. So Bhagavatam confirms that the only way to get our heart pure is to have more frequency connect with Krishna. If we want to develop any relationship, if I want to make if I want to be, good friend of Rasraj Prabhu, so I should make every effort that I'm connecting with him frequently. It should not happen that, once in a blue moon I am connecting with him. So that frequency, the more the frequency with that person and with a good intention, automatically a relationship will become strong. Similarly, uh, similarly, if one person wants to develop a good relationship with Krishna, he needs to connect with Krishna. He can connect with Krishna by reading Bhagavatam, by reading Bhagavad Gita. So these are the scriptures which are available, and by grace of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, we have got all his books printed with just, by spending very less, you can get this, this this auspicious knowledge very easily. You can just give us a call, connect with our temple, so you can easily get all the books. So there are a lot of books which Srila Prabhupada has taken those efforts so that our life become can easy. One comparison that, one our friends were doing was that this age is very, we are very fortunate, we should consider very fortunate that we have taken the birth in this age. As in previous ages, if one person is not a Brahmin, then he was deprived of this knowledge. That he was not supposed to uh, he was not supposed to be taking this knowledge. But Prabhupada, a great acharya, you know we should be very grateful. He has broken all the norms, and then he has given this knowledge freely to everyone. So anybody who wants to read Krishna consciousness, understand about Krishna consciousness, they can read our books, Srila Prabhupada's books, which are available at our temple, and gain and uplift their spiritual life. So there is one more verse which in Srimad Bhagavatam, which तदस्रजस्तमो भाव कामलोभ कामलोभदयश्च ये चेते तेरनुविद्धं स्थिते तं सत्त्वे प्रसिद्धति. Tada, at that time, Raja, in the mode of passion, Tama, in the mode of ignorance, Bhava, the situation, Kama, lust and desire, Lobha, hankering, Adaya, others, Cha, and Ye, whatever they are, Cheta, the mind, Eta, by these, Anavidham, without being affected, Sthiti, Sthititam, being fixed, Sattve, in the mode of goodness, Prasiddhati, thus becomes fully satisfied. As soon as irrevocable loving service, as soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. So, lobha, here we say Raja Tama Lobha, Rajas Tamo Tada Rajas Tamo Bhava, Kama Lobha Dayascha Ye. So, similarly, the the lust, greed, and anger. So, all those things will disappear from the heart. Then a devotee is established in the mode of goodness, and he's completely happy. So to understand spiritual subject matter, one needs to be in the mode of goodness. So it is like example is given like an elephant who is taking a nice dip in a clean water river, and then coming out of that river very clean, and then again throwing mud on his whole body. That is most of our life is like. We practice or you might have seen in your surroundings, or someone you might have heard. So there are many people who take a lot of effort to uplift themselves spiritually, but as Dushyasana, Kali Yuga strips away all the good qualities, and again that person falls down. So but still, a person should not give up. A person should not give up his spiritual life. He should still keep on continuing his spiritual life. The day will come, because it has been many ages, or in our many lifetimes. We don't know what sort of karma we have accumulated. If there are bad karmas, a lot of bad karmas, it will take many times. But still, there is a chance, there is a hope that one person constantly, as in the age of Kali, there is a boon that you know because of, we have seen that as Srila Prabhupada's mercy is there, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mercy on this Gaudiya Parampara is there. So we can take that small step. Whatever small step we have taken, Krishna or Jagannath will pick us up, and slowly he will remove all these stumbling blocks from our lives. So, but only thing what we need to do is the frequency we should maintain. If we lose that frequency, then automatically we have a strong a demon, Dushasana, with his 100 arms. He will uh, strip away all our good qualities. So to protect those good qualities and to stay away from this lust, greed and anger, so we should make sure that the frequency we are increasing, or we are maintaining that frequency, constant frequency with Lord Krishna, by reading spiritual books, or hearing from acharyas, or maharajas who comes and visit us. So we should take every opportunity to meet them, so that automatically their consciousness will come into our heart, and we will uplift our life, our spiritual life. A person with all material desire can worship Krishna. So this is again one verse, a hope for Kali Yuga people, that many of us, or a person like me, will be will get sometime accustomed, or caught by Dushasana, with any of these three stumbling blocks. So he might pull me in, but still I have hope. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaradi तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन यजायते purusham param. Akama, one who is transcendent, who has transcended all material desire. Sarva kama, one who has the sum total of material desires. Va, either moksha, kama, one who desires liberation. Udaradi, with broader intelligence. Tivrena, with great force. Bhakti yogena, by devotion, by devotional service to the Lord. Yagneta, to should worship. Purusham, the Lord. Param, the supreme whole. A person who has broader intelligence, whether to be full of material desires, without any material desires, or desiring liberation, must all means worship the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. So this verse emphasizes that though we have all material desires, still a person can worship Lord Krishna. This is Srimad Bhagavatam confirms. So there is no restriction as such. We can see the example of Jagai and Madai, where Nityananda Prabhu gave mercy to Jagai and Madai. So many of our situation will also be like that, Jagai and Madai situation. uh, Not to that extent, but something, like in our heart there would be some sort of Jaga and Madai sitting and playing with our spiritual life. So, but still, we should not lose hope. As Nityananda Prabhu gave mercy when Jagai and Madai, they were so notorious that that they did all bad activities that one person can think of. And when Nityananda Prabhu went to beg Jagai and Madai that take the names of Krishna, they hit a pot on Nityananda Prabhu's head, and his head was bleeding. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to sever their head, but Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu's mercy on Jagai and Madai converted them into pure devotees of Krishna. So that's how we can see that uh, this movement is so merciful, and the grace of Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always there upon us. And anybody who thinks that they have all their material desires intact, but still please keep chanting. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam confirms. So I will just quickly summarize what we spoke about, and then we can open. I can open for questions or any comments anybody would like to give. So let me quickly summarize it. So we started from the verse 22, chapter 16. Iter kaunteya tamodvare stribhirnaraha acharya pacharat pacharat atmana shreya tato yata param gatim. So this verse emphasized, or the translation of this verse is three gates. One who has escaped through three gates of hell, only that person can gradually attain the supreme destination.
Sorry
So,
to interrupt, Prabhuji. I think someone is unmuted. If they can go on mute.
okay, we will just quickly again see. So we have seen a man who has escaped these three gates to hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. And we have seen the qualities of Kali Yuga. प्रायेणाल्पायुष्य सभ्य कलवस्मिन् युगे जना मंद सुमंद मतयो मंद भाग्य ही उपद्रुत. So, O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, man has short lives, lazy, quarrelsome, misguided, unlucky. So these are all qualities of Kali Yuga. That is what Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.10 mentions. And Bhagavad Gita 2.63, 62 and 63 mentions about anger and effects of anger. Dhyayato vishayam punsa sangas tejastu payate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodha vijayate. And then again, next verse 63, krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti bhramsat buddhi nashat pranashyati. And then we also saw how a person can purify his lust through the story of Kubja. Though she has lusty desire, but still, as soon as she connected with Krishna, Krishna purified all her desires. Similarly, greed, Dhruv Maharaj's greed was purified when he took the darshan of, just by taking the darshan of Lord Vishnu, all his greed was purified. So anger, we saw story of Hanumanji burning Lanka. As Hanumanji utilized his anger in connection with Krishna, then his anger was also glorified and purified by Krishna. So we saw Mohini Murti gave nectar to demigods but not to demons. Similarly, if one approaches Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita through ill motives like becoming scholar or any material desires, if they approach to these sacred scriptures, then they will not get the nectar. So tasmadeke namanasa Bhagwan Satvatam Pati Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Deha Pujascha Nityada. this verse 1.2.14 talks about one pointed attention towards bhakti, no distraction. That means the frequency with Krishna by reading or by associating with devotees or by hearing from senior devotees. We should always keep that uh, frequency. Uh, Otherwise, if we are not maintaining, not maintaining that connection with Krishna, so the relationship with Krishna will not develop, and then there will be difficulty in our spiritual life. यद्दनुष्या यद्दनु अनुध्यासिना युक्ता कर्म ग्रंथि निबंधनम चिंदन्ति कोविडस्तश्च को न कुर्यात् कथारतिम. Like the sword, with sword in hand, an intelligent man cuts the binding knots of reactionary work. शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विदोनोति श्रुहत्सतम्. So we see that Paramatma, who is sitting in everyone's heart, cleanses all the desire of material enjoyment if one person connects with Krishna or chants or hears Krishna. We saw Anartha Nivritti 1.2.18 Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in Bhagavatam and by rendering service to pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, is established as irrevocable fact. And tadarajastamo bhava kamalobhadayascha ye chete chete anavidham tetitam sattve prasiddhati. So all loving service is established in the heart. The effects of the nature of modes of passion such as lust, desire and hankering disappears from the heart. Desire disappears from the heart. Then a devotee is established in the goodness and he becomes happy. So when this happiness is not the normal material happiness, this is the spiritual bliss. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena jajayete purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of material desire, without any material desire, or desiring to be liberation. So for everyone, all means they can worship the supreme whole, the Sri Krishna, the personality of supreme personality of Godhead. 2.3.10 that mentioned. Yeah. Anybody would like to have any comments, or they can have any questions? They can ask.
So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, we
Hare
learned that although we have lust and anger and greed, but if you are cleared, if you stay close to Krishna or chant His name, and you could be purified. You could be cleared from that.
Correct. Correct, Mataji. One thing that is important is the faith. The level of faith that we have, that is also very important. So
Yeah.
if we don't have faith, I'm just telling that, I'm just faking that, my friend, like that way, I'm just faking. But I don't have any, what you call, the faith that, I'm really loving him or really caring him. For example, the love and care doesn't mean just giving flowers to, like the man to women or boy to girl, anything like that. But it means serving when it is at most required. When we talk about mother and son's relationship, or mother and daughter relationship, or any relationship in the material world, when we talk about, it comes when that is tested when we need it at most. For example, if a mother says, if a son says that he just love her, and then he doesn't take care of her in the old age, then what is the point of his love? Similarly,
Yeah, right.
a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife, any relationship you talk about, if you just like when you are, see, your love should not be situational. You know, like when someone gives me good things, or talks good thing, only then I will reciprocate with them. But the situation changes, like I have a upper hand or a opposite person as an upper hand, they will take their advantage. So it should not be like that. That is not called love. So faith is very important. When we talk about when we talk. So we have committed a lot of offenses, not only in this life, but in millions of life. But if we have that small guilt that I have committed this offense, and with with full heart and with my all honesty and sincere, I pray to your lotus feet, then then with that small faith also a person can be purified. But if that faith is not there, and if he's atheist and he's just going, he's committing more offense, then there is no point. He won't, like Kamsa, like we can see the example of Kamsa also. Like Kamsa always remembered Krishna, but in a negative way. He always wanted, he then Krishna reciprocated him accordingly. So similarly, there are many things, or to understand Krishna's relationship, it is very we need to take many examples to understand. But if we have a small faith, then also our life will be perfected. And though we have committed a lot of sins, but still with that small faith, and like Ajamila, we see that story in Ajamila, Agyat Sukriti, he, I mean, the whole life, half of his life in his young age, he was a pure grahastha, and he did all good things, all as per Vedas. But he fall down, and then, but only one good thing that he has done was he has named his youngest son as Narayana, and at his deathbed he just called his son Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Then Lord Vishnu Dutas appeared, and he got liberation. So that is the moral of this. So faith, with good faith and honesty, if we go in front of Krishna, certainly all like like Jagai and Madai got liberated. So similarly, with faith and the mercy from devotees or pure devotees, we can be purified, certainly. But we should not leave Krishna. We should constantly have that frequency of connection to maintain the good relationship with Krishna. So that we should develop and work on. Thank you, Mataji, for this question.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Have a nice night.
Thank you, Mataji.
And Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other question? We have still 5 minutes.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have two clarification. Why do we say, when you say Dhruva Maharaj has agreed? So he was, I know that he wanted to be sitting in his father's lap, but his stepmom did not allow. So
Yeah.
Actual mom told to go and worship Vishnu and to
Yeah.
ask him to sit in his lap.
Yeah.
So was it a greed? I can say it was like a spiritual kind of a desire.
Yeah.
And why we say that?
Yeah. So good question, Aniket Prabhu. So when we say greed in Dhruva Maharaj, so right now, if you read in Gaudiya Parampara, where the Gaudiya Parampara is called Raganu, we are called Raganu, whoever follows Gaudiya, Raganu. So this philosophy, or the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us the topmost thing, that is the mood of gopis, how they are worshipping Krishna. So they don't have a tinge of desire. Even the gopis are telling that, they are blaming their eyelids, that why they have to blink, because that blinking also stop their vision towards Krishna. So this is the level of bhakti. And we see Parikshit Maharaj. Whereas Dhruv Maharaj in the beginning, what he had this desire, that he wants a bigger kingdom than his father. So, I mean, that greed is not like material world, like our greed. We should not compare it like that. But in comparison with the pure bhakti, when we see, so that is a greed, that he wanted a higher or a bigger kingdom than his father. So, because of that, with that motive, even Srimad Bhagavatam,
But
when
but but
in
Sundar
Naimisharanya,
Gopinath, but as soon
yes,
as he
Mataji,
sees the form of Narayana, he recognizes that he's just
right,
going after a few broken pieces of glass. So then he does not
right,
ask for it. But in spite of that, the
correct,
Lord, because he had previously had that little desire, the Lord not only gives his
yeah,
blessing, but he also fulfills his desire. So as soon as he sees
right,
the Lord, he loses all that desire. So we should remember that also.
correct. Right, Mataji. So greed, Aniket Prabhu, is in comparison with that motive. Okay, not that
Got it, Prabhuji. Yeah.
otherwise.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And another question: why did we say that Lord Rama has influence of material? Because just now you said when Law and Kush was singing his glory, he could not get that kind of a feeling when he was sitting on a throne. But when he came down and sat with them, then he started getting that. So is it like he was influenced with the material? Uh,
It is called rasa. So these thing, these are different rasas that Lord want to enjoy it. So that is also one rasa, that that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Lord Krishna wanted to enjoy that rasa which Radharani was enjoying. What is it that my devotees are so mad after me? What is it? So that's why he took a form in Krishna as Radharani, I mean, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the mood was of Radharani. So similarly here, Krishna's name is more purer than Krishna himself. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.9, that first question that comes, like where did where after Krishna's passed away, where is Krishna residing, where is Dharma residing? So it is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So similarly, Lord Ram was not enjoying, because it is just to enjoy that rasa. So if you want Krishna's name to be heard, you need to hear from a pure devotee in a humble way. You should be humble. You cannot sit, above at the top and then enjoy that rasa. If a speaker, if suppose tomorrow any Maharaj comes, so we should take a lower position than a person who is speaking, and then with that heart, with that pure heart or humble heart, we can hear, and then that will go into our heart, and then we will also enjoy. And with the association of devotees, we will enjoy that rasa. So it is not that he was infected by.
I got it, Prabhuji. Yeah, you will explain. Yeah, I understand that now feeling what exactly you are saying. That's
Thank you.
also, yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So Rasraj Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Can end here now?
Yeah, I mean, if you wish to end, if no question, then we can end. Yes.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Panchakalpatarubhyascha
Sure.
kripasindhubhyo vaishnapatinam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Gita Mala Mataji.
No, I just said thank you for a nice class. Hare Krishna.